This week, let's look at the way you communicate with your customers. Hey, this is Chris. Welcome back to another show. Thank you so much to everyone that's come on board with MOT Manager recently. We have got plans to come back on the road. So recently we've been at Harrogate, at the mechanic show there, and Birmingham, the NEC for the Garage and Body Workshop show, and we will be heading down to Sandown Park, but that's not until November. So we're going to throw some ideas around and have a look at bringing the show on the road. We've always done very well when we've come out to see you on the road, so look out for details of a tour, and if possible, like I say, and you can get to the shows, we will keep making sure we're at as many of those as we can get to. It's been so great to meet you when we've been out on the road. Now, one thing that I talk to people about all the time, whether I'm at a show, and I do enjoy when we're face to face. I feel like sometimes we cover a little bit more, but generally when we're speaking, when we're on the demos, I like to talk and get your ideas on how things are changing in a positive way, because you must embrace change. That's a really, really important thing. So as changes come in, you do feel a little bit resistant to them. But one thing that keeps changing is how you communicate with your customers. Let's have a look at that this week. So if you watch quite a lot of the videos, if you followed the show for quite some time, you will know that I am very, very passionate about the mobile telephone. The whole reason that I started working on products like this and got into this industry around 2008, 2009 was by saying to people, watch this mobile phone now. It's going to become very, very smart, and we're going to be doing lots of stuff on it. And again, you can't rally against that. You have to embrace it. This is how people are communicating now. So I do, just on a slightly off-piste topic, I do encourage you, by the way, though, to have some rules with your own mobile phone. You know, put it on aeroplane mode every now and again. Maybe removing some of the apps that are draining your brain. You know, and if you go out and you go and meet people, just leave it in the car, or you know, if it's an emergency, people will always be able to get hold of you. I know I work more and more and more on not being a slave to the mobile phone. But in terms of business and how you communicate with your customers, there are so many wins. So let's have a look at MOT reminders to start off with. So people used to send them out by post. People still will. First of all, it costs an absolute fortune. Secondly, everyone gets a different amount of notice because you generally send all the letters out on a month-to-month basis. However, now with MOT Manager, and this was our starting point, your MOT reminders go out on text, and they go out every day. So if you set them to 21 days notice, the text will go out every day. We only send them out on days that you're open because people like to telephone you. That's how clever it is. If it's due on a Sunday, it'll move it into the Monday. When your customer gets their MOT reminder, if you want, this is an option and it works very well, they can have a link so they can find your available slots and book in. So that's another massive win. So the customer can book in 24/7. They might work shift patterns or have to consult with someone. So already we've seen a massive shift there in sending them out via carrier pigeon to getting them out on SMS, and then the customer can book in. Another real handy win that we have as well, and we've only really been pushing this out for the last few weeks, is a simple reminder to let you know that you booked in the next day. So, and again, the system can automate this. There's nothing for you to do. The customer gets a text, hello, Mr. Jones, don't forget you're booked in with us tomorrow. And if for any reason you can't make it, then give us a call. Now, again, a little bit on my psychology of the mobile phones do make us disorganized because we're doing so much on them. We're so used to changing plans. So really, really helpful to send that message out just to remind people they're booked in the next day. Now, this came up a couple of weeks ago and I scratched my head and then completely understood why we would do this. So customer telephones the garage. They're on the telephone to the landline of the garage, and someone in there is booking them in to MOT Manager. And when it's booked, it sends them a text, a booking confirmation. And I was like, well, why would you need to do that? Because they know when the booking is because you've told them over the telephone. And someone said, yes, but people will very quickly forget exactly which day or what time they agree to if you work on set times. So what they'll do is they'll use their phone as a place of reference. So they'll go back into their text messages and they will have a look, because the information is stored in there and it creates a record. I was like, absolutely, totally sold on that. That is a great feature. So already we are starting to understand the reasons how we communicate in the ways that we do. We've been working really hard here as well on job approval. So lots of our garages are near hospitals, near schools, near various buildings and businesses where people cannot be on their mobile telephone, certainly talking and waffling away throughout the day. What they can do is they can discreetly get a message from your garage saying, "Hello, Mrs. Jones. Really sorry your car's failed its MOT. It's going to need a tyre. It's going to need a set of brake pads. I can get it back to you later today. It's going to cost £212. You might even pop an image or a video on there if that is suitable." And Mrs. Jones can say, yeah, bang, click approve, comes back into MOT Manager, says, good to go. You get it done. You've not had to have the phone tennis, the missed calls, or drag them away from something that they're doing. And then we end up, losing time. How many minutes on the telephone can be time lost on a ramp throughout the day? And the thing is, this is what your customers want. Yeah, they want it. So don't feel like you're putting something on them. They want this. This is what they want. So the way you communicate with your customers more and more and more, we're going to see this with payments. We'll probably do a whole show on the banking API, the open banking API. You'll notice now when you go to pay things, you'll have an option where it opens your banking app on your phone. The payment is there. You don't need to have your credit or debit card on you. There will be the time when your customers will have paid for their car repairs before they come and collect their car. But that's a separate show all on its own. But don't be resistant to these communication changes, because it is what your customers want and it helps the garage become more efficient.